All right, beginning percussion with On Your Marks. In this video, I'm going to talk about measure 1 all the way to measure 15. We're really going to break it down, talk about the specific skills needed to play it correctly, and we're going to do a lot of counting, a lot of sticking, and a lot of playing little chunks over and over again. So, before we even start this, I want you to take a look up here at the board. I've got two different concepts I want you to think about that we have to be able to understand and also do at a high level if we want to be able to play this solo well. So, first things first, you notice we have an accented note versus a non-accented note, okay? You have a lot of this going on. You'll notice at the very beginning, we have some forte notes in the music that are accented, followed by some piano notes that are non-accented, all right? So if we're thinking about a relationship between those, you've got forte accented, which I like to think of as like 12 inches off. Again, if you look at the floor tile below you, probably in Miss Muller's class too, kind of use that as a visual, but get those sticks hinged up, and we're thinking about coming back up, okay? But then, as we get to those piano notes that are non-accented, we actually want to get super low, and I think technically our stick height for piano was 2 inches, all right? So down here. Now, that being said, you have different stroke types that connect accented notes to non-accented notes, all right? And you know about this, I just want to make sure we're thinking about it with this exercise. So, if we're going from accented to accented, two big notes, those are full strokes, right? If we are going non-accented or low and staying low, those are tap strokes, and then we have the two in-betweeners. We have accented to non-accented, so high to low, or non-accented to accented, which would be low to high. Those are downstrokes and upstrokes. Again, you should already know about this. I know we've practiced this a good bit throughout this semester and other things, but anyways, now that we're putting it into music, you'll notice as we go from that accented forte to piano, those last two forte notes need to be downstrokes. Make sense? From there, it's a bunch of taps until we get to the end of that line where we go back to accented forte notes. So we would have to play tap, 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 up, boom, boom. Makes sense? So, your stroke types matter, especially in the context of this solo. I assume with the lack of time we have on this, you can blame me. I know we've been worried about percussion ensemble, but anyways, with the lack of time we have to get this ready, we're probably all going to be playing this on the bronze version, and that's perfectly fine. That's about what I would expect a beginner to be able to do anyways, but you know, we're going to do our best to do it at the highest level possible. So, that matters. Next up, looking at measure 2 or measure 8. We have some idea of some rhythm here on the first half. I've just put 1 and 2 and because that's what measure 2 is, followed by this rhythm right here, okay? With an 8th note rest, followed by 2/16 and a quarter note. First thing I want us to do is come up here, and you notice I've written the same thing out, except for I've turned those 2/16 into 1/8 note, which you are pretty familiar with. So real quick, let's count that, and recti and. 1 and 2 and 4. Again, that rest is on the downbeat of beat 3. 2 and recti, go. 1 and 2 and 4. One more time and go. 1 and 2 and 4. Next up, we're going to look at this. And you'll kind of notice I've just done the math for you here. We have an 8th note rest, just like that 8th note rest. So let's say that that is the downbeat, okay? It is equal to 2/16, okay? So let's come over here. We have the 2/16 over here, but we've gotten rid of the first 2/16. So if this was 1 and 2 and, if we replace that with this, it would be 3E, meaning we come back in on the and-a, all right? So all we're doing is we're really adding the partial here. Now, that being said, let's count this. We'll rest on 3 again, but instead of just saying and, it'll be and-a 4. Here we go. And 2 and recti count. 1 and 2 and a 4. Again, same thing and ready, go. 1 and 2 and a 4. One more time, and 2 and ready, and 1 and 2 and a 4. Okay, now if you're looking at the second measure, you'll notice they put the sticking in for you, and it happens to line up that if we played 3E and a, 3E and then we got rid of the 3E, so rest, and it's still right, left, which would be our natural right hand lead sticking that you've been working on quite a bit with the whole timing patterns that we did for percussion ensemble and everything else. So, that being said, you know how to count that. We understand the importance versus with accented versus non-accented. I think we're good to start working through this. We're going to count the first line. If it's accented and forte, I want it loud. If it's piano with no accent, I want it quiet. Here we go. 1. I'll do it with the drum set. 2, ready, count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and 4. Again and ready and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and 4. One more time, counting first line, ready and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and 4. This time, say the sticking, hands on the legs. I'm not too worried. You can try your best with the accented versus non-accented, but we'll start to really work on that in a second. 1, 2, sticking and play it, go. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, 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 left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, right. Again, 2, ready, and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, 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 left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, right. One more time. 2, ready, and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, 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 left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, right. Now, this time we'll play it. If the accents happen, that's great. If not, that's great. Most important thing right now is that we're getting the right idea of the rhythm, and then we're gonna add in the other details. And 2 and ready and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, 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 left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, right. Again, same thing and ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and 4. Now, hopefully we've got a good idea of how that rhythm goes and how it feels in the hands. The next step for us is to add in those accented notes versus unaccented notes. And again, what we're gonna have to really think about are the stroke types that connect those, okay? So, looking at the second measure, we have big, 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 tap, 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 right? Or 1 and 2 and a 4. The important thing for us to know is that we have full strokes at the beginning of that, right? Because everything's big. But then those last 2 notes of that group of 8 notes, the 2 and, both need to be down strokes. That way, we're set up for the tap, tap, tap. Makes sense? So, first 2 measures only, and I want you to think about making sure those last 2 8th notes are down strokes, and then get me to the downbeat of measure 3. Good. Get set, find the dot, double check your grip, make sure that your fulcrum is set, that your back fingers are wrapped around the stick, that you've got around that 90-degree angle, all the things. You should know this by now, I hope, or else I might have failed my job. We'll see. Anyways, go ahead, hinge it up from the wrist, dollar bill sign there, and first 2 measures plus a downbeat, and go. Right, left, right, left, right, left, down, down, tap, tap, tap. 1. Again, same thing, reset it. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down. Hopefully you have the right idea of that. Now, next up we have the last part, the last 2 measures. We should be good with the rhythms, but the next step is figuring out how in the world do we get to those 2 accented notes at the very end. Well, I'll tell you, first of all, those 2 accented notes are both in the right hand. What's the very last 8th note before that? A right hand. So that means we have to connect this right hand's note to that, which would mean you need to make an upstroke out of the last note. I'll be honest, you have a lot of time there because you have the note and then an 8th note rest, so sometimes I lift later on, but for the sake of this, we're going to focus on lifting that 8th note immediately. So on your own, for a moment, practice that upstroke with the right hand. Just boom. Start low, tap, and end high. All right? Hopefully you've stopped. Anyways, we're going to play just that measure. This is the last measure of the line, and we're going to think about lifting up on that last 8th note before the rest, and then playing our 2 forte notes. Here we go. 1 and 2 and last measure, go. And tap, 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 lift, boom, boom. Again, let me get a neck going. 2, same thing, go. Up, again, and 2 and ready, and up. Notice that up should come from the wrist, not the forearm, or not from just opening up our fingers, right? Come up with control from that wrist. Everything is initiated by it. Same thing. And ready, go. Up. Okay, back up a measure. Let's put all that together. This is on the quarter notes that are technically kind of a double stroke pattern, but super slow. Measure 3, 2, ready, and right, right, left, left. Up. There you go. Now, back it up to the beginning, the whole line. And 1 and 2 and get set, go. Right, left, right, left, right, left, down, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E. Up. Same thing, and 2 and ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and down, down. All right, that gets us to measure 5. At measure 5, we have a mixture of 1 and a rhythms and 1 E and rhythms. I'm going to hope that you know which one of those starts with an 8th note followed by 16ths, and which one of those starts with the 2 16ths. Anyways, let's count the first 2 measures of 5. Notice it's all at piano. We're going to keep it all low so you can say it quietly. And 2, count, ready, go. 1 and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and a 4 and same thing and ready, go. 1 and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and a 4 and one more time, ready, go. 1 and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and a 4 and one thing I do want to make note of, they are using right hand lead stickings the whole time. All those 16th patterns, 1 and a 2, right, right, left, right. You know you've done that a time or 10. Or 1 E and 2, right, left, right, right. You've done that one a time or 10. The one difference that you might feel weird about are, for instance, the group of 2 8th notes on beat 2 or beat 4 of measure 5 or at the end of measure 6. They alternate those right, left instead of right, right. If you want to do right, right, it's really not the end of the world. I don't think anyone's going to judge you for that. I'm following the sticking that's on the paper. But if you'd rather go right, right, left, right, 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 left, right, left, right, right, and keep that constant motion in the right hand, that's okay too. Anyways, let's go ahead and say the sticking. And I guess that means you're probably going to be stuck doing the alternated eighth notes here, but let's go for it. Sticking, 2 and ready, hold on, 2 and sticking measure 5 and 6, now and go. Right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left. Same thing and ready, go. Right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left. Try to make sure that you don't accidentally turn the sticking around to the left hand, right? We're not just alternating everything. We're driving that right hand on all the up and down beats, leaving the left hand for the e's and uhs for the most part, other than those eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 5 and 6. Right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left. Good, put it on the drum. 1, 2, ready, and. Again, same thing, ready, go. Last time, 2 and ready, go. Now, next thing to notice, after that piano section, we have accented forte notes, which means you need to make what kind of stroke? An upstroke. So, make sure the last 2 eighth notes are up, up, and then that will set us up for a big loud 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a down, down. And notice measure 8, like up here, is very similar to measure 2, okay? The beginning of the rhythm is a hair different, but the end is all the same. You've got the eighth note rest followed by the and a 2 or and a 4. Anyways, let's go ahead and play those last 2 measures. This is measures 7 and 8. Those are the accented forte notes. I'm going to trust that you can do this without counting or anything because the first measure is the same rhythm forever. And the second measure of that, you kind of have done similar by this point. Here we go. And 1, 2, and ready, and. Down, down. Same thing. 2, ready, and. Down, down. Now, jump back to measure 5. Let's put all 4 of those measures together. Reminder, at the end of measure 6, those 2 eighth notes have to be upstrokes. And then at the end, or midway through measure 8, we got the down downs. And 5, 1, 2, ready, and. Up, up. Down, down. Same thing. 2, ready, and. Up, up. Down, down. Okay. Top to there. And 1, 2, top to 9, and go. Down, down. Double sticking. Up. Up, up. Down, down. One thing that I did forget to mention, and hopefully you picked up on it. Either way, at the end of the first line, you have that last quarter note that is accented, but measure 5 is piano, so that is technically a downstroke, okay? Be relaxed with those downstrokes. Don't feel like you got to kill the drum, because if you do that with the real drum head, Mr. Huff will be angry, and life will not go well for you. So, that's that. Anyways, we are looking ahead now at measure 9. We have some quiet drum to rim stuff going on here. I think we're probably comfortable enough with that by now, especially this. It's just 1E and a click, 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 3E and a click, 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 click. Not too bad. The important thing that I want you to make sure you're doing is to not push too far forward on your rim, because then it gets this weird, not good sounding territory in my opinion. I prefer that higher pitch rim sound, which is going to be on the shaft closer up to the bead. Okay, and then also just making sure that we are using the same amount of shaft on the rim hand to hand, or else you're going to get off kilter sounds. Okay, let's play 9 and 10. I think you can do that without having to count through it. We'll go really slow for a second, and then I'll put the met on. And recti and the e and no, and now e and the go e and the. One more time. 2, recti and go and. Hopefully that went well for you over there. Now, put a little speed on it. Same thing. And 1, 2, ready, and go. Make sure you're pushing forward all the way where you need to and pulling back. Same thing. 2, ready, and. Okay, now we get to probably the biggest rhythmic challenge of the entire piece. This is measure 11, and we're going all the way to measure 15. Sorry, I wanted to double check the time on my camera and also make sure that I, didn't forget to click the record button and wasn't talking to myself this entire time, because that's what it's felt like the whole time anyways. Also, I'm out here, this is Sunday, so the day before you see this video probably, and it's around 6:03 now, so I've been watching outside because the worst of the storms, I think, have already happened. That being said, we're at measure 11. We are in 2/4, so whatever you do, don't count to 4, although it'll probably be okay because 2 plus 2 is 4. But we're at measure 11. You'll notice we have our group of 4/16. We have some 1-enda patterns and some 1-e-and patterns. The trick to this is going so slow that you cannot mess it up right now, and counting through it, getting extra comfortable with that, okay? And then once you've counted it several times and feel confident that you have it correct, you add the sticking in, like we've been doing on everything systematically your entire time as a percussionist. And then finally, we add in the extra stuff, okay? And if you look at the extra stuff, something you'll notice is we are still piano at the beginning, but there is this big, long bracket that opens up like a big alligator mouth, and you might know that as a crescendo, so we are going to eventually add that crescendo in. For now, I want you to think about it all being piano, though. We are going to count it real quick, so super slow. Counting to 2. Ready, and go, E, and 1, E, and 2, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 1. And 2E and 1E and 2E and 1. Same thing, 2. Ready and go. And 1E and 2. And 1E and 2E and 1. And 2E and 1E and 2E and 1. One thing I want you to make note of is whenever we see, hopefully we can see all this still. Whenever you see this rhythm by now, I don't want you to have to go through your whole brain process of like, that's an 8th note, we count 8th notes like 1 and 2 and, so that means we go from 1 to and then we have a 16th note, and that means we go 1E and Hopefully you're past that, okay? We need to just see this rhythm as 1 and up. Don't overthink it, it's always that. So when you see this, attach to the downbeat, find the upbeat, so on and so forth. Know what's long, know what's short. There's only so many ways I can describe this, okay? Same thing with this one. 2/16 on the front, okay? Honestly, this one's probably I don't know. They're about the same, okay? Just know the rhythm for what it is. Don't overthink it at this point. Let's count it again. 2 and ready, 11. We're into 4 and a go. 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1. Okay? Now, read the sticking. Hopefully we got the rhythm in our head. Play it on your left. Ready and a go. Right, left, right, left, right. 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 Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Same thing. And ready and a go. Right, left, right, left, right. 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 Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. One more time. And ready and go. And right, left, right, left, right. 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 Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. This time on the drum. And ready, go. This time, throw that right hand on the rim so it's louder and you should hear the never-ending eighth notes. 2 and ready and go. And 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1. Same thing. Right hand is on the rim and go and. Okay, back on the drum, little faster, 2, ready and go, and 1 E and 2, and 1 E and 2 E and 1, and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1. Same thing, and ready and go, and. Okay, and with the Met, a little faster. This is set at 75 beats per minute, by the way. I know it's quite a bit slower than the written tempo, but if you can get this whole thing at that tempo, I promise you, you play it 3 times slow, play it good, you're probably gonna be able to bump the tempo from 75 to 85 or 80. I think I have recordings at 70, 80, 90, 100, and 108. But anyways, you see what I'm saying? Once you get it slow, the process speeds up for you. If you just try to jump right into the game, you're probably going to miss out on a lot of details and then people might make fun of you. So here we go. Same thing. Measure 11 to 15, all quiet, and 2 and 1 and 2 and ready, go. And 2 again and now. Right, left, right, left, right. 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 Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, boom. You will notice something else. We're playing this pattern. Short, 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 long. And you're technically playing that once, twice, 3, 4 times in a row before you have the last measure. So it's short, 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 long. 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 Yep, da, 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 da. However you need to think about it, okay? I personally like to count, though, because we've only been doing that for a long time now. All right, the next thing to do with that is add in the big crescendo. But here is the trick. You cannot crescendo immediately. In fact, I would just ignore the crescendo for the first 2 measures, okay? Because then whenever you really bring it to them, the last 2 measures, all the way to that accented forte height at 15, the judge is gonna go, holy crap, that was cool. I don't know if that's true, but anyways. Yeah, generally speaking, we don't want to crescendo too early on things, especially whenever that crescendo is already stretched out. We want to save it for the later half, okay? And so we're literally going to do that. We're not going to bother crescendoing until the later half, and then I promise you it's going to be more noticeable. The other problem with percussion, especially crescendoing too early, and really anyone, is you're likely to get to that maximum volume way too early, and then you have nowhere to go and you just look like an immature musician. And you're not immature. At least I like to think that sometimes. So here we go. 11, saving the crescendo for the later half. And 2, and ready, go. Start. Think about ending up at that 12-inch height. Same thing. 2, and ready, go. And a 2, and a 1 E, and 2 E, and a 1, and a 2 E, and 1 E, and a 2 E, and a 1. Again. Ready, and go. Okay, now let's jump back, go from 9 to 15. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 9, and 2 on the drum, quiet, go. Even I fell short of crescendoing too early just then. Okay, now bump it back to 5. 1, 3, measure 5 to 15 and go. Up, up. Down, down. Hey, beginning all the way to 15. One thing I want you to notice or think about is whenever you play this, you don't, or practice it, you don't want to practice it to where you're just kind of like, all right, I can finally understand the counts and I can finally get the very bare minimum of everything, okay? What we want is we want to be so comfortable with it that we can almost kind of sing it. I could go ta, 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 ya, da, 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 because I have it in my head so well that I hear what it should sound like, okay? We call that having an inner ear for the music, all right? Where you know what it should sound like. And then you want to mimic that with your hands through practice so much that your hands are just comfortable with what they're doing now, right? That's what we're aiming for. Okay, all the way through. 2, 3, 4, top to 15, and get set. Hinge up, 90 degrees, fulcrum, back, fingers, thumbs looking toward each other. Maybe tap your foot, and 1, 2, ready, and down, down. Down. Up, up. Down, down. Wait for it. One more time, same thing, and 1 and 2, get set, hinge up. Down, down. Up, down. Up, up. Down, down. All the way. All right, that's that. Good luck with the first half of this exercise. The next video will be the next half.